That's me, Paul, the bass player.
Camera like ass.
Black and white checkered floor, hillfire sunset, right outside the door. Corn and wheat fields, as far as the eye can see. Sweet surrender, flowing through the leaves.
I'm Joel Hedrick. And I'm Scott Pucci of the Steel Chops. This is the Rockumentary for Painting a Picture.
So we are here at Gravity Studios on June 16th, 2011. The Steel Chops starting to record their first full-length album at Gravity Studios in Chicago.
First day we went in, got everything set up, and then started running click tracks for the drums. And started working on a few songs there. It was about, 3 days of drums?
Yeah, we did like 3 days, basically just setting down like scratch tracks with the whole band playing, doing live stuff. And then once we had that going on, then we started out with the drums, and Mark went back in and laid just all the drum tracks using scratch tracks and the headphones and stuff. So,
What was the first track that you guys started with?
we didn't do them in order. No, I don't know. We had it set up in the video footage. There's a picture of the big chart on the easel, and that was like pretty much the order we did them in. I don't remember what the order was.
I don't remember what we started with. It was different for everybody. Where drums would be well, what's the easiest song for Mark? For Mark to start off with, so he would go and do that, and then it would be Scott. What's song you want to knock out right now? Or for me, what song you want vocals to knock out? What's the easiest stuff, and then go through them.
Do it! Do it or you're fired.
Tommy Lee's replacement.
Doug wanted us to pick 15 songs that we thought were worthy of being on the album, and send them to him, and he listened to them all, and then basically picked his 10 that he thought would be good. Yeah, because we're working on a time frame, and we're working on a budget as well. Obviously, if we had a lot more money, we could have recorded a bunch more songs, and either put them on the album or save them for a later time or bonus track. But if you put in like for us, we went full route with a full studio producer, so we put down a good chunk of money, and we did something, a good solid product, what we got out of it. But you're also looking at your time frame and what's going to fit, what's going to work. And some of the songs on there took a little bit of time as well.
Drifter took a long.
Was our problem child out of all of them.
Wow, Drifter, what a horrible song. The number one hit, for sure.
It's definitely one of my favorites. Ian, who's co-producer on the album,
Ian, otherwise known as the Ladies' Man.
The Wonder Man. The soundboard wizard. The soundboard sorcerer over here.
he was just that's his favorite song off that album. That and Summer Skies too, these two pride and joys, but the Drifter is his big thing. And we changed it a lot where, it used to be, we had organ on it, and then we changed it to piano, Sam's time, and I went downtown after I got done with work to go check it out, and Sam was like, okay, this is how it's going so far, I'm still working on it. And then Ian's like, well, why don't we try the piano? And we tried it, and the sound was awesome. It was a total different change, but it sounded great. And, basically we wrote all the keyboard parts for that song.
Joe,
In the first verse.
rewriting Drifter, history in the making.
History in the making, a much better Drifter.
It turned out so awesome. Sam did a phenomenal job, and Ian did, as far as coaching him, he's like, oh, we'll try it a little jazzy this way, and then Sam would just nail it, and it was just like, above and beyond what Ian was expecting. And it came together so well.
Not everything is about, Doug. Do we need to know something?
That was awesome. Not everything is about Doug.
Found them online, checked them out. A band that our bass player used to play with, recorded with them. But after I saw the names and credentials the guys had, I went there to go and talk talk with him, and it was legit. Sat with us for 3 hours and talked to us.
I mean, Doug and Ian both came to a couple of our practices before we started in the studio. So, I mean, they made some notes and had some general ideas and suggestions and stuff, which, I mean, not everything everybody could, like, see or kind of hear right away, but once we got in the studio and started, trying a couple different things here and there, then it was a little easier, I think, for everybody to, like, be like, oh, that's what you meant, or whatever, so...
We just finished the last song for bass, Drifter, check. Ian is still here. We've grinded it out, made it through the rest. Ian's been very patient. And despite the trials and tribulations of recording and being attacked by killer ants, we have survived and made the part one of the greatest album of all time. Pretty soon, when the guitarists come in here and spend another 30 hours of their parts, we will have a finished product.
I was there for a majority of some of the other guys' days, but I mean, mostly it was just them sitting with like the engineer or whatever and doing the tracks, and then like occasionally I'd pop in or have a suggestion, or the engineer would be like, oh, what do you think of like that one spot, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, everybody got to pretty much work like just one-on-one for all intents and purposes. So, but yeah, I mean, when there was any chance for like groups of us to work together, everything was pretty smooth. Everybody decided to want to get everything done.
Hey, everybody out there in Steel Chops Land. Welcome to the next installment. It's still day 5. We're going on hour, I don't know.
Has it been hectic?
It's been pretty nuts. So
That's good.
all right, cool, man. Huh?
We did everything was good minus.
Good minus.
And then we had some really good.
Oh, that's good times. All right. Fantastic. There you have it from the mouth of the master. Good minus. Night, y'all.
This is day, what day it is? Keyboard day. Yeah. Ian and I alone in the studio. We did 2 kick-ass songs.
So now, Doug, let me ask you a question. So you've had all kinds of huge name artists here at Gravity Studios. Fall Out Boy and Rise Against and the Plain White Tees, and the list goes on and on and on. So where would you put the Steel Chops in that list of esteemed groups that have gone on to be super mega?
Well, one you haven't mentioned is Bon Jovi.
Oh yes, I forgot. How could I forget the legendary Bon Jovi?
So, I mean, I would say the Chops are right in between Bon Jovi and Seventh Heaven.
And Seventh Heaven. All right. Okay.
Yeah, somewhere right in there.
Kind of a wide range to cover, but that's okay. That's all right. No, it's okay.
There's a lot TBD.
Right.
They turned out really good.
Right.
Regarding
Absolutely.
The Chops, I mean, the Chops could go in one direction.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I've been around this business long enough to know that the Chops could also go in that direction.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hedging my bet by leaving a wide berth.
Okay, that's fair. That's valid. We'll give you that one.
Doug and Ian do their work and do the mixing and the mastering, and then it comes to, and then it's like, that's it, it's done. It's just like, when you listen to it, you're like, wow. It's like, you don't, you think that maybe there could be some changes, something that could be better, and then you listen to it and you're like, there's nothing that you would change.
Okay. Are we done?
God, I hope so.
Come on in.
I think we're done.
when you throw it in that first time after it's all done, I mean, not only do you have this awesome sense of like, oh, it's finally done, but then you listen and you're like, wow, and it's really good. So, you know, but yeah, no, everything's amazing.
First time, I was in the studio listening. We listened to parts of it, a couple songs here and there, and then, Doug gave us a copy, to listen to in the car when we went home. And of course, when we're leaving, it's like 5 o'clock on a Friday, and it's just rush hour traffic. So you get to listen to the whole album on your way back up home, and you're just like, yeah. And it's like, as soon as like painting a picture like clicks in, and like you're listening to it, like you get this shit-eating grin on your face, like, oh my god, like it's so good, like that's us.
It's kind of an eclectic mix. It's definitely got some different sounds, maybe a lot of, or at least some cross-genre stuff. So there's definitely some rock and roll stuff on there. Maybe a couple of tunes that feel like they might be a touch more towards the alternative side. A little bit of country on the back end. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting mix. It's got
going with like the whole roots rock is a generic term to use for it, where it encompasses rock and roll and country and blues and southern rock, and there a couple of tunes on there a little bit more in your face, I wouldn't say like heavy metal, but like a heavier rock almost. Yeah, there's some softer kind of like love songs on there too. So we had a blast doing this album. Like it was like one of those painful things, like when you left the studio and then like 2 or 3 days later, so you've been going there every day for 2 months, and it's like you miss it. And you're like, what do we do now? We want to go back to the studio. And it was one of the best times of your life, having all this fun, and it's like it's over. It's like, okay, now we have to really get to work and get it out there, and hopefully we can go back and have some more fun and do it again.
And a little titties and beer comes our way in the meantime. I mean, that's never a bad thing there. So.
Try for something that could be real.